Rome, they wrestled. Everywhere that they went, they wrestled. I was studying the other day, Christ going to this place where this dude was bound in a tomb by like so many different demons. And after Christ cast the demons out of this dude, man, somebody found out that Christ cast these demons into these pigs. These pigs fell off the side of they committed suicide. This was basically their money, their livestock. So they was mad because these pigs had died. Bro, they told Christ to get out the city and don't come back.
Bro.
And then the dude that was healed, he went to Jesus. He said, like, Jesus, can I come with you, man? Like, Jesus was like, nah. He said, listen, I need you to go back to your house and tell the people about what I did, because Christ wanted that gospel in that city to be.
Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada. Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada. Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada. Who the king know? Who the king, baby? Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada. Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada. Kingdom talks, yada, 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 yada.
Yeah, Christ the king, baby.
What's going on with you, Snakes, bro?
What's the deal? What's happening with you, man?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Taking it one day at a time, man. Just enjoying, man. Most definitely, man. Every day, man, God gives me, bro. Enjoying every day, man. Yes.
Oh yeah. How that COVID-19 treating you?
Man, it's been treating me pretty good, man. Luckily, man, I haven't came down with any there's been no cases in the house, so that's been good. But I've been in contact with so many different people, bro, man, where it's difficult, man, to to kind of like just being careful with it, because you just never know, man. You never know what happens. You never know, who you'll come in contact with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You probably have come in contact with a couple of corona infested folks.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You just never know, bro.
But you don't know. Yeah, right. You don't know. So
yeah. Man, so man, what's been going on with you, bro? How's everything been going with the COVID-19 and
as far as the COVID, man, it's been good for me. In the family, for the most part, we had a scare.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you. Yeah, the baby, man, he had a fever and he was throwing in the middle of the night at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We was like, what the heck is going on? I was scared, bro. I'm like, I know this ain't happening to my baby. So, but apparently it was a routine fever. You know what I mean? He's 7 months old, so babies are going to have fevers. Mm-hmm. So really that's all it was. He just had a fever. We gave him a little bit of liquid Tylenol, and, it went straight down, and he didn't have it anymore. And that's why he was throwing up too. My mom's told me, she was like, listen, and this is when you talk to somebody with experience, she was like, if your baby got a fever,
oh yeah,
I mean, like, if he got a fever and his temperature is high, when he drink milk real fast, he's gonna throw it up.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
I know, right? Like,
have me over here petrified.
Yeah, most definitely, man, because that's a scary thing, man. Like when you think, like, especially like now with what's going on with the COVID-19, how it seems like it's a difficult thing to be able to embrace. Like if your kid or something, come down with something like a cough or virus. Even my daughter was saying things like that too. She was like, Daddy, I got this cough, and you know what I'm saying? So I think like, even in this time, it's just one of those things, like you just can't be too careful. You got to like be like,
that's true. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I seen a meme or something like that, bro. She was right by a group of people. As soon as she sneezed, I swear, as soon as she sneezed, dude behind her, he pulled out a pistol and shot her. It was a meme. Yeah. He shot her.
Hey, that's crazy,
as she fell, everybody that was in the group took out some Lysol and started spraying the air and spraying themselves, and they just went on about their day. I'm like, what is happening?
Like, hold on, man. Like, hold on, man. Hey, I was thinking about that too. Like, it's like that's what happens, man. Like even in the grocery store, if somebody coughs or if somebody reaches out, it's one of those things, like you can't be too careful. Somebody can, even like now, like somebody reach out, try to shake your hand or something. You know what I'm saying?
And you gotta hit him with that Matumbo, bro. Like,
he said, no. Hey,
not today. Nah, man, not today, Satan.
Man, oh yeah, most definitely. Oh yeah, bro, man. So man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So how's the How's the diet been going, bro? How's the
See, man, listen, we ain't about to keep having these episodes of shame.
Oh, okay,
Like,
all right.
you gotta catch me when I got something really good to say.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So
Bro, what you about to say?
I'll say like how's it been going? Like is it difficult? Is it
Bro,
how is it, bro?
okay, so I really did have pretty good energy and encouragement this past Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before that, before my last week.
Yeah.
I had really good high energy. Me and my wife were starting off on our diets together and working out every day, and I had good high energy about it and everything. But I started working crazy hours. So like I was getting off at like, 10 at night, 11:45 at night, like crazy time. So I didn't have no time to work out. I didn't have no time really to even eat right, because when you at your job, you know what I mean, till 12, and then you get home, you just want to eat the whole fridge and then go to sleep.
I know what you mean, bro.
You know what I mean? So, man, listen, I look at it like God apparently didn't want me to eat healthy this week. That's how.
Hey, you know what I'm saying, bro? Man, I know what you mean, man. The same here.
What about you,
man? The same here. My week this week. I mean, I still been out jogging, exercising and stuff, but my week this week has been it's been a little difficult, bro, because you know what I'm saying, like you said, like I get off late. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get off normally at 7, don't make it here until about 7:30. 8 o'clock. Then after I get in, you know what I'm saying, I know the kids is still up, so their schedules is crazy now. So like they on the schedule where it's like they basically sleep during the day and they're up at night. So like when I get home, they wide awake and they ready to eat. They ready to, you know what I'm saying? So they wired up and stuff. So I never get a chance to like go to bed until like 12, maybe 1. Then wake back up at 6 the next morning. So it's been a struggle. Me getting in, yeah, bro, and then I'll get in, I'll eat, you know what I'm saying, and then, it's relax time. I want to sit back and relax, you know what I'm saying, like
for real. I feel you. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. So, hey, but apparently they starting to open everything back up on the 15th, though. That's what I heard.
I heard that too, and I can't wait, bro, because this virtual podcast is not working for me. It's not working for me.
Yeah, for real, bro. Yeah, you don't get that same vibe and that energy.
Yeah, it's not like it seems like, man, like I mean, I know we're connected in the spirit, but like it's like having you here just makes it that much, that much better, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. It's like you can sense the disconnection.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Weird. Like this virtual.
It is.
Who's that song that made that song Computer Love?
Hey, man.
Listen.
Yeah. I forgot who Roger something, bro. I forgot his name.
Feldman?
Yeah, I think so. Because he had the tube thingy, and it was, you know what I mean, the tube going into the piano, and then it was making his voice. Yeah,
I know.
I think that was Roger Troutman. That was Roger Troutman.
So yeah, that the computer deal, man. I can't do it, man. Like I can work on the computer, but like being able to connect with people, man, this is one of the most difficult things, man. So when that May 15th come, man, I'm gonna be excited, man. I'm gonna be excited.
Oh, bro. Yeah. May 14th at 11:59, I'm gonna be at the door.
Holding the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, let's make this happen, man. Let's make this happen.
I'm gonna be in the church for no reason. On a Saturday evening.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Oh, man, that's crazy. So, hey, bro, as far as the whole COVID thing, like, how is it? So, what do you think? Just kind of segueing into, just a little bit of a chat about it. What do you think, man, we can take from this time? You know what I mean? Because it is crazy. Like, this whole alone together. You seen that whole hashtag going around, being alone together?
No. What was on it?
Basically, that's all it's about. The media is putting things out saying that, save lives, stay home and save lives, be alone together, be, at your house alone by yourself, but together with everybody else, because everybody else at their house too.
Dang, that's weird. That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that's wild. So, I mean, what do you think we can really take out of this? Because it is a tough goal for a lot of people, especially extroverts. So, what you think we could take out of this?
Man, I think one thing is that like, man, if you do have families, I would say spend, as much time as you can with your families, because once this is lifted, this time we can't get back. You know what I'm saying? I think
Mm,
that like this is a good time to be able to spend time with your family like never before, and also with the Lord, but that should be something that's consistently each day. I believe that, we set that time aside, but we know how it is when it gets with families, we get involved in stuff like
facts.
that, how it's so difficult because for the simple fact, like we don't have, what I'm saying, that much time with our families like we do now. And so now having that time with our family, I think that it's more beneficial because now we can actually like really just be able to sit down with everything. We can't go nowhere. We can't go to the movies. We can't go,
Yeah,
to
bro.
the mall. We really have to sit down as a family and really like get to know each other. So I think we can, in this time, get to know each other, get to know one another a lot better than what, what I mean, we have known each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, man. And what's crazy is that we actually about to, like we said, we're about to be coming out of it.
Man.
So I think one of the big things, bro, is to like start focusing on coming out of it
Mm,
better than you went into it. Like having a different mindset when you get back out there because yeah, you want everything to go back to normal, but at the same time, do you want everything to go back to normal? You know
mm,
what I mean? Like, yeah,
yeah,
you want everything to go back to how it used to be, but how good was it?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you really got to start sitting down and asking yourself, like, is this what I want for my life in general? You know what I mean? Obviously,
yeah,
we Christ centered. We always everything that we talk about is always Christ centered. But just looking at it from a practical level, like, what do you want out of your life that you're not putting any energy into, and
mm,
that therefore you're not getting nothing out of it because you're not putting any energy into it. Like, what do you really, really want? That's one of the things I think we could take away from this time, man, because that's really important. A lot of people, their lives are being wasted because they don't put the adequate amount of energy into whatever it is that they say that they want.
oh, you're right, bro. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that goes a little bit deeper as well into, what I'm saying, just that actual time, like, spent with the Lord as well too. I think that
Oh,
that's been so
facts.
big too, what I'm saying? Because now, you said something that was amazing too, bro. Like, it's crazy that like all of this has happened and it kind of like forced us to do the things that we're doing. Like our whole life has changed and it forced us and pushed us into having to do it a certain way. And
Yep.
I believe that, anytime something, forces you into doing something, now you have a different way of, what I'm saying, operating normally. Like, when it was just like, okay, I can do this and I can do that. But to know that everything was just slowed down, like all the malls are closed, bro. The sports are shut down. The
Coffee.
yeah, those places are shut down. Then you got your like the movies. I mean, everything is shut down. And it literally like transition it like a whole lot of things change. You know what I'm saying? So it's no longer, what I mean, just being able to get up and go at will and do what we want. But like we really have to be cautious and careful, man. So yeah, this COVID-19, it really helped, I think, a lot of people to be able to spend more time with their families. And it also helped us to see the great sacrifices that a lot of people have made, teachers, you know what I'm saying, with students and stuff like
Mm.
that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, 100%. And like what you were talking about, spending time with family, like also you gotta ask yourself how much time have you been spending with the Lord in this time?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like how much time are we really giving him? And you got a lot of extra time. You got a lot of things that you could be doing.
yeah.
So if you in this time, if you haven't been praying or if you haven't been reading, I think what God is showing a lot of people that are in that boat is that it's you. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like it's your fault
yeah, because yeah,
that you're not reading. Because you got all the time. You got all of you have no more excuses, basically is what I'm saying. I think he's kind of pulling the rug out from under people.
yeah,
People thinking that they have some foundation. Oh man, I'm so busy I can't read, or I'm so busy I can't pray for that long, you know what I mean? Because I got a crazy life. But
come
then
on,
he
bro.
stops everything. He stops everything. He pulled a rug out from under you, and you like, all I have is time.
You're right, bro. And that's like,
but I'm still
that,
not gonna give it to you. That just shows you your heart.
oh yeah, and that's so good, bro, because like when you see how like now all the time has been made available, how now, there's no more like I believe honestly there's not a lot of, you know, more like time for us to be like, okay, you know what, I don't have the time now, you know what I'm saying? I just everything in my life now is not, like set in a place where it needs to be, like we have all the time now, you know what I'm saying? And I think that,
Right.
anytime a person is forced into doing something for a certain amount of time, just I believe that it can cause a person to change. But let me ask you a question, bro. Do you think that even if, okay, say like from the majority of people in the world, they did change, they made a decision to change. Do you believe that this is enough? You get what I'm saying? To cause a person to just reflect and think like, okay, look, I need to actually stop. I need to, is this enough? Do you think like, do you think that like maybe the Lord has to allow something else to happen to really get, because this is kind of like a Noah little situation deal if you think about it. I mean, it really affected the whole world,
Yeah. I would say, honestly, I don't think that this is enough to just change, a vast amount of people. I think that what God could be, and I'm not saying that I know exactly, what God's will is for all of this and that type of thing, but I think that what his will could be is to show the vast majority of people what they care about, and to show them what they, like, this is what you're going to spend your time on, no matter if you got a lot of time or if you don't have any time. You're going to make time for the things that you want. And then if you have time, you're going to use that time for the things that you want. So if you really don't want me, this is being God, then you're not going to spend time with me. I don't care how much time you have.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, bro. You're right. Like a
So
lot of,
that's
yeah.
how I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, bro. I believe a lot of people, it's hard to say, it's sad to say, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I just don't believe that this, like you said, is enough to, really like affect a person so much so to where when everything is lifted and everything is back to normal for us to keep reflecting back. Because remember our first podcast, we was talking about the Kobe death. We hope that this is not just something that is just like here today and then it's gone tomorrow. Of course, it's a person, but at the same time, is this going to cause us to spend more time with our family? Like, so we had this discussion, we talked about it. And so I think that, honestly, man, I'm feeling the same way that you feeling when it comes to that. It's not enough to be able to get us to a place to where we're like really just aware. But I think it is going to shake a lot of people. They're going to be like, okay, like because I believe that there was beauty that came out of it. Even for me, like spending time with my kids, having more time with them, even doing homework with them. I was doing it before, but now having to have more, assignments with them, it just gave me more of a understanding with them, because more time you spend with the kids, the more time that you're able to, get to know them and understand them. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Hey, the other day, man, me and my wife got in a little situation, man. I just want to get your input on this. I want to get your input on it. Okay. So we was in the car, we driving, we're going to the store. And bro, she look, just check this out, bro. She said, oh my God, man. So we going back and forth. The kids is in the back seat. I'm driving and everything. And so, Mother's Day was Sunday, right?
Right.
So I got my wife some gifts. I got her a couple gifts. But one of the gifts that I got her was one of the gifts that she said that she didn't want. I understood what she was saying, but she always told me it was the thought that counts.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Right? She said it's the thought that counts, bro. So I got her something. So, okay, all right. So we in the car, bro. The argument went from, angelic to demonic. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
So from
heathenistic arguments.
Hey, like, you know what I'm saying? So, bro, so it went from there to there, like, real quick. And so, like, in the midst of it, man, just to make a long story short, man, So after we got to the end of the argument, man, we was able to resolve it in a way where we was still able to be, you know, we was able to argue, but still kind of like be connected. So check this out, bro. In the midst of that, bro, what I found out is that I don't know my wife. And in the midst of it, she said that she doesn't know me. And it wasn't the fact that we didn't know each other's nature or, you know what I'm saying? It was just the small things that a person might want.
Yeah.
So in this COVID-19, and it's time to the COVID-19, it's just that I had more time to even spend with my wife to find out what she did like in the midst of me getting her something that she didn't like. So it was like the mistake that happened, I was able to learn something from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, I feel you on that one.
What do you think about that? What did you get some heat on Mother's Day? Or was you good?
No, I was good.
Oh, okay.
I was good on Mother's Day. Hey, I pulled out all the stops on this, so I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, that's good news,
bro,
man.
I went ham sandwich on this Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
but I mean, as far as that whole situation, I understand both sides, honestly. Because
so what do you think?
Okay, so I think obviously I'm a man, so I'm gonna side a little bit more with you because
this is Kingdom Talks, bro. Come on.
hey, I'm just being real.
Okay,
because I see what you're saying, and I know that that's the case because I would say the same thing. You know, because I'm looking at it like,
no, I'll just play. Go ahead.
Nah. I would say the same thing because I'm like, listen, you told me that, you know, it was a thought that counts. I'm trying to get you something that you want, even though you didn't love it.
Yeah,
you should still be, and I'm just being honest. You should still be grateful.
Hey, come on, bro. That's what grateful. I said. Yep.
I bet you did. And that's probably what pushed our buttons too.
Yeah, that set it on fire right there, man. That was the gasoline.
Man, but you knew too right before you said it,
bro.
You was holding that one back.
Yeah. So from what do you think? What do you think that But what do you? So your thoughts on the fact of saying like, do you think that it was wise? You get what I'm saying? Do you think that that's a good way to get to know a person? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say that because like this whole COVID-19 has literally forced us to be closed indoors with, you know, our family. Like it really got us to get to know our family. So do you think that by us being forced to be closed in a place like that, that you can get to know a person in a way that you never knew them before?
Oh yeah, for sure. Or at least get to know, like what you said, at least get to know that you don't know them as well as you thought you did. You know, so it can do both, you know. But I do think that that's one thing that God probably was trying to do with this whole thing is to get people to see what's important. You take away all of the glitter and the glam, and now you left with what's really essential, your family. That's what you're here for. Wow. That's what we should be here for. So, yeah, I would say that. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, you know what? And the other night I was in the front room with my wife, and this is still, you know, we're still, you know, diving into this COVID-19 for our audience. But, you know, I was on the couch, bro, with the wife the other night, and I wasn't into it, but I was, you know, in the room, and then, you know, I was overhearing, you know, I think it's the Atlanta House of the Basketball Wives or something like that. And one of the things that like happened in the midst of it, like now they're doing everything virtually as well too. And I was like, you know what? I said, I asked my wife, I said, babe, I said, is this still kind of the same like how it was when they were able to be around each other, interacting and, you know, like being able to have actions and responses? And you know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, it's pretty much the same. And I was like, well, it ain't kind of different though, that they don't get a chance to be with each other and they're able to interact that way. You know what I'm saying? She was like, well, yeah, it's kind of different because, you know, they're not being able to exchange, you know, just the presence with each other and stuff like that. And something you said that was so powerful. This is what if you take away the glitter, you take away the glamour, you take away all of those things, like, you know, it strips you down to the core, and all you're left with is, you know what I'm saying, that person and getting to know them, and then, you know, being able to, you know, really find out, you know what I'm saying, about this person. Because to be honest, bro, like, bro, like I really don't know my wife. You know, I love her
Yeah.
100%, but like knowing that there's like little small things like that, that it just was like, wow, you know what I mean? And you know what? It was
Yeah, man.
painful. It was
Yeah.
painful. Cause I'm like, I thought I did, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know
Nah,
what
for
I'm
real,
saying?
bro. Hey, I think it's a movie that me and Chelsea watch all the time. I think it's Fireproof. It's called Fire. You ever
Bro,
seen it?
I've seen one time, it was probably a couple years ago though, but I seen it.
Okay. I think it's Fireproof. It could be Courageous. I'm not sure which one it's on,
I seen
but
that one
it's
too.
have you? So
Mhm.
you probably will know what I'm talking about. It's a part on there where the dude was like, um, and it is Fireproof. He was like, marriage is it's almost like going back to school when it comes to knowing your wife. And he was
Man.
like, have you gotten your college degree yet, or your PhD yet on your wife? And he was
Mm,
like I might be in high school. I definitely ain't got my PhD. So they was talking about learning their wives.
mm.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing. I think that's an aspect of marriage that in today's era, bro, it's totally gone. Like
It's
it's non-existent.
you're absolutely right, bro. It's not existing. It's something that is completely overlooked. It's not talked about. Like you said, everything now is all about the glitter, the glam. Everything is now is about the outward
There you go.
emotion rather than the
And the
connecting in the spirit, bro. You know what
facts
I'm saying?
and that appearance. That's all it's about, bro. It's about appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say that, even before my marriage, when I was, living in sin, and this was before I had really this is before God changed me, and this is
Mm.
before I was really saved.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and my brother have been through similar situations as far as doing things for that outward appearance, that outward look. But
Mhm.
then you go home and then you in those four walls with your significant other, your girl or whatever, and all hell is breaking loose. But then
Mm.
when you walk out the doors, it's people that's affirming you, like, oh, look at them, they so nice together, they look nice together, they
Yeah.
this and that, and they right for each other, but they don't see what's really going on. But you only doing it for the look,
Yeah.
because you know that's what the world idolizes, and that's what they promote and
Mm.
big up and everything. And so we live our lives a lot of times just focusing
Yeah.
on what other people think, and we don't even like or care about that person themselves. We just want them to like us, even though they don't care or like nothing about us either. You know what I mean? So it's a revolving door, and it's
Yeah.
it's, it's really ridiculous.
You're right, bro. That's true. It seems like now, like, you know, I think one of the things that took away, you know, and I think that right now in this COVID-19 we can see it. One of the things that took away true and genuine emotion and friendship is cameras. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
come on, bro.
And
Yeah.
I believe it took a whole lot of emotion from, you know what I mean, and the generation that's growing up behind us, bro, they're growing up in a generation where it's going to be only that, you know what I'm saying, like,
Facts.
and this COVID-19, you know, it's kind of like even I'm experiencing it now, like to just even be doing this is something that's just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying, like, because, you know, we're used to being connected, like, you know, we
Oh
right
yeah.
here and we, you know what I'm saying, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but this whole COVID-19, you know, and I believe for everyone that is in any type of media with dealing with cameras, you know, now it's not as um what do you call it, like it's not a strong connection, because you can't connect like you can
Come
connect with
on.
a person, you know, physically and being there. And the same thing
Yeah.
you said, like in a marriage, you know what I'm saying, when you find yourself going out, you know, out in the world, and then everybody else seeing you and affirming you, you know what I'm saying, that is,
Right.
you know, where you're getting your praise from. And then when you go home, you know what I'm saying, it's a completely different atmosphere and a completely different setup. And I think that is what this COVID-19 has kind of forced more families to be able to spend more time together. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, I haven't seen as many families as together as I have since this COVID-19 started, really out with each other. And I'm gonna be honest, even my family
Mm,
has
mm.
experienced even a more closeness in this. But, you know, my only hope
Yeah.
is in the midst of this COVID-19 is that it's not just something that we was like, you know what, we're going to get through and then go back to how we, I don't want to get through it. I want to grow in it and go to the next, place where God is like, okay, now, because, every time, anytime I see this planet, it first starts like in some dirty territories or some real dark places. But, we have to
Facts.
grow from that. You get what I'm saying? And not just be consumed, like, okay, like once this is over, I'm going back to normal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I totally agree with that, man. I look at that as that's really actually beneficial to me because that's the way that I look at it. That's the way that I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like in my life, like I don't want to go through this time just making it or just getting through. Like you want to be able to grow because you want to be able to look back and say, hey, talking to your family or talking to your kids. And, I remember back in 2020 when that COVID stuff hit, this is where we were. And then we got even closer and me and your moms did this. And you know what I mean? You want it to be like a staple for your family, like almost like was it like a landmark? Versus just, oh man, I remember back then, we got through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want that type of legacy, man. You want to be able to grow through the pain.
That's true, bro. And that is what I believe, like, one of the things that is a blessing in this COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's a huge blessing to be able to, go through it in a way where, what you're saying, like, this is not something that the world is experiencing. This is something that we're growing from, you know what I'm saying? So when we do, when we do see that sun rising again, we're like, okay, you know what, now I'm going to carry it and take this with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this podcast is all about is a changed mind. You know what I'm saying? Having a changed mind and thinking different about, what it is in life that, no matter what we experience, having that changed mind saying like, you know what, yes, you know what I'm saying, we're going through something heavy and something crazy, but you know what I mean, at the same time, when we come out of this, you get what I'm saying, like, are we gonna like say like, hey, I'm going back to, how I used to do, oh, I'm just going back to work, hey girl, I'm going back to work, or hey homie, I'm going back to work, is it gonna be something that's like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying, like, man, that was something that me and my family grew from. I got to know my wife, I got to know my, you know what I'm saying, my kids, you know what I'm saying, like, because I'm not gonna lie, this whole COVID-19 time, bro, for me has been a pressing time, and it's been so good, bro. Like, I've been learning so much in this whole time, man. My mind has been changing, in this whole process, you know what I mean?
Yeah. In what ways? Just like renewing your mind, like spiritually?
Well, renewing my mind spiritually and also physically. You get what I'm saying? When I mean physically is, like just to be able to interact with people, and interact with my family in ways I never done before. You know what I'm saying? Like just simple things, going outside, playing ball with my kids, or, going to, color with them, you know what I'm saying? Or watching a movie with them, or, you know what I'm saying? Or just, just some of the simple things. Now I was doing those things before, but now when you go through something, like you said, you tend to like appreciate it a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? You tend to find a way to be like, okay, you know what? It's like when pressure is on you, you find a way to appreciate it a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah, no, I totally understand that and I agree with it. You know what I mean? Especially when you talk about the pressure, like how, they say, what's the phrase? Pressure makes diamonds or something like that.
Yeah, that's it right there, bro. Yep.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what it is. You want to be able to go through the furnace and come out more pure. That's the way that I look at it. Like, if you don't want to always just get by, and that's big for, I know it's big for you, like you said, and that's big for me as well. In this time, I can say for sure that I've been able to grow spiritually more than I probably ever have in my life,
man.
Because not only, and what's so crazy, bro, I can say that, and I've actually had less time than what I normally do,
bro.
because I've been working overtime like crazy. So I've actually had less time than I normally do. But because of what we were talking about at the beginning, before we started this with the prayer and everything,
Mhm.
that perseverance,
Man.
you know, and God granting me the, I don't know, the heart or just the ability to be able to set time aside to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just to prioritize better, that whole thing. You know, I feel like that has so much to do with the way that we are as people, especially in our time, is we have to be able to prioritize. You know,
Mm.
I think honestly, and this is one thing that I wanted to get in with you. I wanted to ask you about as well. I personally think one of the things that we could really take out of this time
Mm.
is the ability to prioritize.
Wow. Wow. You're
You
right,
know
bro.
what I mean? Because all you have is time. So you can start splitting it up. You can start prioritizing things that you really want to do versus things that you kind of want to do, or hobbies, and you know, or things that are essentials like training your kids up in the
Man.
way that they should go. You know, me and my wife actually in this time we said we figured out that it's really really important to do family worship. So that's one thing that we're gonna start is we're gonna
Mm.
start doing family worship. And when I say worship, it doesn't have to be necessarily singing and playing instruments and things like that. More
Wow.
so, we're gonna start uh, preaching the gospel to our kids. You know, as of right now, Bella is not necessarily old enough to understand fully the gospel, but she's talking, so she can learn certain things.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, but we're prioritizing our lives biblically the way that I feel like we really definitely should be doing it. So I
Yeah.
would ask you, bro, what do you think is one of the big takeaways that we can walk away from this thing, and we could say, all right, cool, I'm adding that to my arsenal.
I think one big thing will be what you said, like that family worship, just, you
Mm,
know, being one, being whole, because I think what we do though, bro, like with all that life is demanding of us, because it's crazy, bro. Like if we look at our lives where it is now, and this is for the average working adult, if we look at our lives where it is now, how many different things are pulling on us? We got our job pulling on us. We got our
yes.
family pulling on us. Then we have our own time that we got, I got to get this time in. But then at the same time, we above all those other things, we like, man, I gotta put Christ and God first. So it's like you're torn in between all of these different desires. And like you said, we have to find a way to be like, okay, family time,
Yeah.
job, you know what I'm saying, worship, you know what I'm saying, and bringing it all together, you know what I'm saying, bringing it all in one, like, like this is what I have to live my life by. I have to worship this way every day. And so like, bro, I would say that's it right there, bro. It's prioritizing it, but in a way, like you said, and I feel the same way. I've had that same amount of time, you know what I'm saying? Like before all of this had happened and took place, it seems like now I have lesser time, but I
Yeah.
have more written in my journal. It's it's
Ooh.
it's it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but that just shows that, you know what I'm saying, that the Lord, can provide with a small amount. Like God doesn't need, you
There you
know,
go.
24 hours. You get what I'm saying? All God needs is just a little bit of faith. You get what I'm saying? A little bit of time. And from that, things will start to expand and grow. Seek
Yeah.
first the kingdom,
There you
and
go.
all these things will be added. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having just
Come
those
on.
little bits and pieces already in place, man. Like, and everything will start to just fall in place. But I'll say this: I think that where the distraction comes in is when we feel like that there's all this I have to do and I have no time. You know what I'm saying? So you'll try
Mm.
to do. Cause see me, I'm like that. Like
Uh-oh.
if I get in worship or if I get a song, man, I will
Yeah.
spend all day on that song. Like, so it's hard. So I understand like when it's time to prioritize, you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, you know what I'm saying? And like I was telling my wife, because it's like whatever is feeding you, you'll
Mm-hmm.
stay there. You know what I'm saying? You won't leave. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's
Wow.
feeding you. You get what I'm saying? And so
That's super true.
but I think that's when we have to be careful, because if all of this virtual reality stuff is feeding us, but we're not being fed connected spiritually, that's when we start to fade away, and then we start to lose a connection with the people that we're close to.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree, bro. Hey, didn't you have like something that hit you that brought a lot of this up? As far as yeah, you had some scenario that hit you, bro, and it brought all of this, up, and that's what made us even get into the topic in the first place.
Yeah, bro. So man, I was just the other day, bro, man, I was man, just something hit me, man. I had an opportunity, man, when I rode down into the inner cities. For everybody that's watching us across the world, we stay in Kansas City. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was driving in the inner parts of the city, and I was working, and man, bro, I first I had an opportunity to speak to this teacher, and he's a Caucasian, he's a white teacher, and he was just telling me he worked at Central, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, man, I was just left there about 5 years ago, and he was saying how that, you know what I mean, how the systems, the school system, basically, they were just encouraging him to just, if the students was in the seats, just pass them, just get them through school, just get them through school. And I thought that was so shocking to hear that, because like, here it is, these are people just like you and me that
Yeah,
have, you know what I'm saying, minds, that have spirits, that have, you know what I'm saying, and the system where they're going to go learn is telling them like, hey, just pass them. So after he told me that, man, I was shook. So I'm driving through the inner cities, bro,
right.
and I'm just looking at all of these different businesses, bro, that were in the inner city that are closed now. They just are just buildings that don't have nothing in them. You get what I'm saying? They're just buildings with
Yeah.
nothing there. And so I'm just looking and looking and look. I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. Then I drive a little further up the street. I see a liquor store on the corner. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy. And this is what's feeding the inner city. This is where everybody goes to get whatever it is that they got to get.
Yeah.
And so I'm still looking and driving around. I noticed, bro, that they had all of these different metro stops. You get what I'm saying, in the inner cities. And for me, when I looked and I saw it, I'm like, man, this is a good thing. But when I thought deeper into it, I was like, wow, I said, here it is. They have all of these different metro places in the inner cities. And there's a lot of minorities that stay in the inner cities that have to take the bus to go wherever they have to go. No matter where it's at,
Yes.
they have to take these buses to get there. And
Right.
then I thought a little bit deeper. I'm like, so what happens when they have to go to Walmart, or if they have to go to a place like that, has what it is that we have to go and get, whether it be a fan or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, especially for a decent price. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I didn't see no Walmarts, and all of these Walmarts are far from the inner city. So they have to catch the bus to go get on these things, to
Right.
go get to these places. And then I start to think like, bro, like, man, like they put all of the money into the inner city in metros, because they realize and they know that this is where minorities are using the buses so that they can get to wherever they have to go. So they put more money into the bus systems to get money from,
Hmm.
but not into the school system, or not into
Yeah.
education. The teacher said, we got money for footballs, we have money for jerseys, but they didn't give us money. He said they didn't give me money for books. Come on, bro. That's
That's
crazy, man.
wow. That's wow. But this is where we got off talking about mindset though, because man, I mean, it okay, so in a certain respect or aspect, I actually I understand what's going on in the inner cities when it comes to like the bus system. And
Hmm.
this is what me and you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Because we come from we just have two different perspectives on this a little bit.
Yeah.
But so on one hand, I get it because that's marketing. That's how you build a business. If you know what I mean, you have to be able to look at the demographic and then judge, where you're going to put your business based off of that. Where you're going to make the most money. It's all about income.
Hmm.
So on one hand, that's just what it is. But then on the other hand, when you look at it theoretically and not even
Come on,
well
bro.
practically, when you look at it practically and you look at it for what it really is and you look at it for what is really happening because of these decisions,
I'm telling you, bro.
it's like, yo, like what are we doing as a society?
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean? Like what's going on? You don't want to give me knowledge, but you want to give me
a
something that
way
really I don't necessarily need.
a way to spend my money, and
That's
that's
it.
the
That's
thing,
it.
like, and then to know the stores that are in the inner city, their actual prices for their food are skyrocketed, bro. I mean, it's literally like crazy
Really?
that they are paying more for less. You get what I'm saying? But and so it was just shocking for me to see that, bro. And so like, you know, and here it is, like what the teacher was saying, bro. They put more money into sports than they put into the school books. And it doesn't amaze me that these sports are shut down. It doesn't amaze me that, you know, all of these restaurants are shut down. I mean, if God is not speaking, then who is? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
this is nothing but the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy, bro. Like when he told me, man, it was just a weight that was on my heart where I was like, man, I said, this is crazy. And then he was telling me, and this is a Caucasian, God is telling me this, that
Yeah, that's
taught
wild.
at Central. You get what
That's
I'm
wild.
saying? And he was
That's
just saying
wild.
how that, like, listen, like, man, he said, just the stuff that happened, he said, I couldn't take it no more. He said, I took all that I could take. He said, I actually stopped working there 5 years ago, man. He said, man, I just couldn't take it no more.
So that's why he stopped. He stopped because of all that.
Because of all that. I said, so what was the reason behind? He said, man, I just couldn't take it no more, man. He said, just to see, he said, man, to know, he said, there was kids in the class that were smarter than me that just came there and just didn't want to do it. But you know what? Like we're talking about, it's that mindset. If you teach a child that you can come into an environment and just stay in an environment and you can get passed along and you can go to the next grade,
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't do no work. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
I mean, come on. Like if you could go
Yeah,
to work and not work, come
bro,
on, who would do that?
you're teaching them by not teaching them. You're teaching
Exactly.
them how to be lazy by not teaching them.
Come
By
on,
just
bro.
passing them along, you're teaching them how to be lazy. The same way, you know, when it comes to like raising your
Man.
kids, you know, if you raising your kids and you tell your kid, hey, don't do this, and then they do it anyway, and then you know you tell them again, don't do it, and they do it anyway, and they know where to, you know, where I need to go ahead and do it because I'm gonna get a whooping next time if I don't do it. You're teaching them how
Yeah.
to sin and be disobedient because you didn't punish them the first time you told them not
Yeah.
to do it, and you knew that you said, I mean, so by not chastising them, you're teaching them how to do wrong. By not
Yeah.
teaching those kids, you're teaching them how to be lazy and how to not be productive in the world and how to always have a handout and expect things. And I think that's one of the biggest things with, and I don't even want to say just minorities, because honestly, when it comes to the inner city in Kansas City, 95% is going to be black kids, you
Yeah.
know? So I'm
And
looking at it like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and in those school systems, like, you know what I mean? That's a huge part of, you know what I'm saying? I think as well, like the violence has shot up too. Cause you know, and just to see that there's no after school programs, they just built a facility over there. What's that close off of Swell Park, which is supposed to have been a community center, but they just recently did this, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's, to me, it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, we have great amounts of crime that's coming in Kansas City, but at the same time, we're not willing to, you know, invest into the inner city to clean it up. But then, like you said, it goes into what was taught, that mindset, you know. So how can the mindset be changed if what's in place already, you know what I'm saying, is something that is not, you know what I'm saying, already it's not willing to change, you know what I'm saying? Or those that are already leaders that are not willing to change. You know, how can you change a society, you know what I'm saying, like that, you know?
I think it's got to start with individuals. It's got to start with just individuals. It's not going to start, you know, widespread. It's not going to start with a big organization. It's not going to start with billions of dollars to fund initiatives that support things like that. It's
Yeah.
going to start with individuals. So individuals need to start changing their minds. And this is what the podcast is about, you know. You know, we should use this time to realize what we, you know, I guess we should use this time to realize what we're thinking right now and the way that we think, and then take that and start implementing new things, implementing new ways of thinking, you know, just get yourself out of the normal mindset and see what the issues are with your family or just in your community, and use that and really change something. But I think it really has to start with us. It has to start with perspective.
Yeah,
If
bro.
as soon as we change our perspective and we start changing the way that we look at certain things,
Mm,
then that's what's going to change how we act towards it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? If you really believed that the next step that you, and I heard this from one of the ministers that I really listened to and I really love. He says, I think it was Paul Washer. He says, you know, if I were to walk into a building right now, the same building that you're in right now, and I say, hey, you know, fire in the building, and I say, hey, there's a fire in the building. What's going to change the difference between your reaction is going to be if you believe it or not. If
Mm,
I say, hey man, the building is on fire and you don't believe it, you're not going to move.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you might get up and kind of walk around and look, but you're not going to be worried about it because you don't really believe it. Your perspective has not changed. But if I say
Yeah.
it's a fire and you smell smoke or you see the flame,
Yeah.
your reaction is going to be totally different because you actually believe it. So it's all about perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing with us in this time, and we got to have a different perspective about these things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, bro, and that brings me into something Martin Luther King said about how, people, in that time they were rioting over, civil rights, and it was real crazy in that time. But he was basically trying to explain to people why riots was actually happening. And
Yeah.
he said the reason that riots are happening, he said this is the language of the unheard. This is how people respond when they're not being heard. And I believe that that's the same in the inner city. When you look at what's going on, whether it's financially or whether it's whatever it is, it's just when a person is not being heard. Or, you know what? And it's something my wife, we was talking about today. A lot of what's going on too, I believe, bro, is a lot of unforgiveness. People nowadays too, like, even us, in general, like, you know what I mean? As people, like we still are holding on to a sense of unforgiveness, and we're holding on to some things that is literally stopping us from being able to really receive, all that there is for us to have, whether it's
Mm.
coming from, or whether it's coming from our friends or families, but more importantly, being able to just live a life, in its full and experiencing, all of that comes through forgiveness. And that is a big part, I honestly believe,
Yeah.
of what's truly going on. And greed, that's a big thing too. Like, we have to change our mindsets on the things that it is that we truly desire. Like, do we, for example, now they're releasing, us to the stay at home order, May 15th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is it is it is it is it is it because is it more important for us
Yeah. I know where
to
you're going.
lift the order? You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? Or
Yeah.
to protect and to save people, So I heard this analogy, and listen, this was something that
Uh-oh.
came from the guy that did the research on AIDS. I forget who he was, but he's the guy that's speaking for the actual COVID-19 vaccine. So, bro, this is what he said. He said that, bro, he gave this analogy. He said that, you know what I'm saying? Because they were asking him, like, do you think that it's wise for us to open back up, even knowing that it's an airborne disease? People are
Mm-hmm.
still, contracting it. So he said, well, we have to look at this like a car. And, people that's driving a car. Well, I say that you can't drive a car because you can buckle your seatbelt up, and, you know what I'm saying? And there's accidents and stuff happening out there. And he said that, you know what I mean? There's still laws that's put in place, you know what I'm saying, for people not to, do those things that they're doing. They're getting in wrecks or whatever the case is. So he said that, bro, that it's similar to that. And I thought, I was like, how is it similar to, how is a person's life, you know, in line with a person getting in a car or vehicle and driving themselves to wherever they going, to the store, to a friend's house or whatever, but the actual leader or president is saying that, okay, or the governor is saying, okay, I'm lifting this up, it's okay, you guys still practice 6 feet, but at the same time, you get what I'm saying, I want this is still a virus that's out there that can happen, you know what I mean? So to me, I don't believe, bro, that that's wisdom. I don't believe that it's wise in a lot of ways,
To
because, you know what
open
I'm
back
saying,
up.
opening back up. You know what I'm saying? I just believe that it's a little too soon. You know what I'm saying? I believe that with God, all things are possible, but I just still think that it's important to have wisdom in place. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have kids, man. We do have families. We do have the elderly. What about them? you know what I'm saying, that are, you know, suffering from, because our immune systems, we straight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what about
Yeah.
the elderly and the kids? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
but like you said, like we can see it both ways, you know, but then like if we don't open back up, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do?
Hey.
And I think that, you know, what do you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What's your
bro.
thoughts
Because
on that,
it's
bro?
because it's a lot of people that would agree with you, but then it's a lot of people that would actually think the other way, because it's so many people that's either not working right now
Mm.
or got fired or laid off, and they looking at it like, yo, like we need to start back up because I'm on my last $1,000 and I'm about to pay that for rent, and my family ain't got no food, and I don't have no money to, you know, put food on the table. So I need
Yeah.
to be making some dang on money. So, you know, you can look at it either way. And I go back and forth with this one, bro, because I actually do believe, and I agree with what you're saying. I also look at it like, bro, like it's hard for me to think that this is so, because people act like this is like the biggest thing that's ever hit the world. Like
Mm.
that's the way that they talk about it,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But when I look at it, bro, I don't see it. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't get that vibe. Like I
You
feel like
believe
we
it's a hoax?
overreacting.
You,
No.
you believe it's a hoax?
No. I
Okay.
know. You trying
Hey,
to bait
because
me
people
into it.
think that, bro. Some people think that, man. Some
No,
people,
I think it's really real. I just don't think it is as okay. I know it's fatal to some people that have the respiratory issues.
yeah,
But
yeah,
what about the flu? Like, isn't that
yeah.
not the same type of thing? It kills about
They
the
said it
same
was
amount
like
of
five
people a year.
flus. It's like five flus.
Oh,
Hey, you hear me over here trying to sound all intelligent?
man,
They said
yeah.
they said it's like
With the
five
hey,
flus, bro.
with the glasses, with the
Hey, you know
glasses.
what
That
I'm
made.
saying? They said that's what they
Oh man,
said though, bro. They said it's like five flus. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know though, man. Like
I
I'm
don't either, man. See,
you know
I
what?
don't have any tangible evidence to be like, you know, okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna
I
be
don't know.
honest. I'm gonna be honest, bro. What really shook me, because I was cool up until I heard this, man. I heard TD Jakes. So TD Jakes, I shared it on my Facebook page too, bro. So I heard TD Jakes say that, you know, he wasn't even letting his kids into the house. He was saying, like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, this is crazy. He said, this is what he said, bro. And this is what really startled me, man. Not to the point to where I was afraid, but to the point where it woke me up. He said, man, he was on there, bro. You could tell his heart was heavy. His heart was heavy. And he said, like, man, I got on the post and he said that he said, I know that there's gonna be a lot of pastors that are gonna unfriend me. I know it already right now, but he said, this is so deep on my heart, I gotta say this. And he said that, you know, I'm getting so many different calls from people. He said, man, talking about their mothers have died, their children have died, they lost their spouses from this actual virus. And basically, he was saying it in a way where he was like, man, I'm tired of these calls. And he said, listen, y'all, it is so important for you guys to protect yourself. He said, if I get one more call, he said, you can tell he was at a breaking point where he was like, man, this is so severe. He said, but what really woke me up, though, he said, we have to realize that life is valuable. Every life is valuable. And I had to think about that. Like, you know what? He's right. Because we don't, I see life as valuable, but sometimes it's good to hear it. And he was like, every life is valuable. Every person has something that God gave them, gifted them with to give to the world. And to see a life just lost. And we know God is sovereign. He misses nothing. Everything is in his will. But
Yeah.
there are senseless things that has happened that people have put themselves in the way of danger.
Right.
You know, like you can't, like I was telling my wife, I said, babe, I have faith, but I can't just get in an airplane, jump out of an airplane without a parachute and say God is going to save me.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
faith. That's insanity. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I can't just trust God on that. You know what I'm saying? That's calling God a liar right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. God said, no.
Yeah, that's that Mutombo, bro. Hey,
Said,
so you know, I mean, what you think about that though, bro, man? Because man, that right there, bro, it shook me, man, and it really had me thinking differently. I'm like, whoa, I'm coming in contact with valuable people, people that have substance, people that are not just people. And you know what? Not even, and I'm thinking a little bit differently now, bro. After I studied something today, but all people are valuable to God.
Oh
Everyone.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So how do you feel about that, bro?
No. Okay. So yeah, totally agree with the fact that everybody is valuable. 100%. And I think that we have lost that a little bit as far as just in everyday life. You don't really sit down and think about things like that. You know what I mean? You don't have times to where you just thinking about the importance of each and every person that you see in your day-to-day life.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's definitely something that we should hone in on. I guess the only reason why it's hard for me to the only reason why I think it's hard for me to be fearful at all
Hmm.
is because I've heard of people getting it.
Yeah, I've
I've
heard
not
that too.
seen anything. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like I've not seen anything. I've not seen, I don't know people that have family members that it hit them.
Mhm.
Everybody that I've seen that it did touch was healthy in like days.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't because my bro, the one I was telling you about, man, he actually got it. We think he had it. They didn't even take him into the hospital, bro. They just told him to stay home for 2 weeks.
So did he do like for sure? Does he have it?
He had it like a month and a half ago or something like that. So it was way back when it first started, I think.
So you know somebody though that has contracted it though, because
Yeah.
I only
Well,
people I've known was a couple people at my job that contracted it, and they were in a call center.
yeah. Well, okay, so again, I can't say that he had it because they didn't say that he had it. They just told him to go home because he had the symptoms. He had some symptoms,
Mm.
but they didn't say that he had it. So I'm just saying he probably did. He possibly did. That's what I'm saying. So, but even if he did, he was healthy in like 2 or 3 days. And
Wow.
he said, I felt fine. They told me to stay home for 2 weeks. I really was just chilling for most of the time because I felt fine. So I don't have any example of the pandemic in my life. So it's hard for me to be like, man, this thing is going around and this,
Yeah.
like, because all I'm really banking on is what the media is telling me. I don't have any evidence myself.
And
So,
you know what?
yeah,
I think that right there is one of the reasons that it was so. I was the same way,
yeah,
and it was so like heavy for me, bro. Like after I heard that, bro, I was like, man, I said this is, you know, because when I started to think a little bit deeper into it, I'm like, wow, I am coming in contact with people that are valuable, and at the same time, like I started to think like, man, these same people, it's like, like they come in contact with other people, and then those people that came in contact with them came in contact with other people, and
facts.
at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, here it is, I'm going into these customers' homes, and you know what I'm saying, so I deal with a lot of people, and it's closer than 6 feet, you know what I'm saying, I hook up cable,
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying, so it's like, it's just one of those things, man, where I was like, man, I said this is crazy, but after hearing that post though, man, it took me to a whole nother like just level, like, whoa, you know what I'm saying, I have a family to protect, you know what I'm saying, and also like, like I believe we should, like you said, have that compassion where we're caring a little
yeah.
bit more about people
Oh, yeah.
than I think this COVID-19 has shown us that as well too, that it's so important to care a little bit more about people, you know what I'm saying, that are of course less fortunate than us, the elderly and also the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's definitely a big takeaway that we could take away from this whole thing, bro. Is just our care and our attention to human life in general. So I totally agree, man.
Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. Man, I got something to
Yeah,
share right
Brody.
quick, bro, that
Okay.
that I thought was really, really inspiring, man. And it took me to phew, a whole nother level, man. I mean, and before we get into the word on the street, because we got to street
Oh
it
yeah. Oh,
out.
you already know. You already
Hey,
know. Got
you
to
know what
hit
I'm
the street
saying?
once or twice.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I mean? Bro, but this is what really, really shocked me, man. Because there was a question that was asked in another one of our podcasts. Actually, I believe it was the one we did right before this one. And
Okay.
you know what I'm saying, we actually went over it and addressed it a little bit, but it was basically just talking about how, you know, how sometimes people were afraid to come to God because of something that was said or whatever the situation was. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
studying
yeah.
today. I was reading this article, man, and something stood out to me that was so dope, man. But it says this, bro, it was off the chain, man. It said one of the reasons Christianity attracted so many followers in the early days, um, that was women, and because I mean, in the early days it was women and it was slaves, and the people, basically the people were, um, they were low social. So basically, like, you know, slaves and women like that back in those days were basically considered really not as high as men were, priests and kings and all of that stuff.
Right.
But it says that it said that they were all welcome to the faith in Christ. The result was that people who were never associated anywhere else in Rome culture found themselves in a relationship with each other in the church. Paul commands those on the upper levels of society to leave any class rivalry out of the church. His final command in this verse was that Christians should never be wise in their own sight. This is not the same as saying that we are never to be wise. The idea is that we should not accept our own opinion as a final word, but we should submit to the word of God as well as to the input and ideas of others. And bro, I thought this was so powerful
Mm.
because I believe that, and I have this question to ask right before we get in, but do you believe
Yeah.
that our gospel has become so glamorous that we have forgot about, like what it was saying here, slaves and women, and we can be a little bit more up to date with it, but just people that have not had an opportunity to hear the gospel that we pass by every day,
Oh yeah.
whether it's a homeless man or whatever. Do you think our gospel has become so glorious? I mean, and I say glory, so glamorous that we've
Yeah.
forgotten these principles.
Yeah, because we made it that way because we did it that way so that we can attract more people because we knew that people are not going to want to hear about the full orbed gospel, about exactly what happened on the cross, exactly what's going on, the fact that God actually is sovereign. Just the full orbed gospel. It's not as sexy. You
Mm,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
because it's not as appealing and attractive
mm,
to the carnal mind,
yeah,
we watered it down so that
mm-hmm,
we can pull carnal people in
yeah,
and fill the church. And so, yeah, we've made it more watered down and whitewashed and all of that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I feel like if we got back to the deep roots of what the true gospel really is, we
mm,
would see a totally different thing. We would see a totally different church. We would see a totally different just the way that our society is, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I could really talk about the gospel, for the longest.
yeah, yeah.
Rest of the whole, for the rest of this week, I could go in and talking about the gospel. But I think that's really what it is, bro. Answering your question, I think that's what's happened to the gospel in these days is we just whitewashed it and we did it for the sake of pulling in people that wouldn't otherwise be in the church.
I think the same way, bro. That's when I heard this message, when I read this article, bro, it really just showed me that wow, this gospel that we preach has gotten to a place, and it's now becoming a commercial deal rather than, what I'm saying,
Oh,
reach into the soul of a person, bro. It's like, and that's a dangerous thing for our generation that's coming up behind us because, like you said, bro, we can't build a whole community like just in one day. It does start with a change mind and one person, and then
bro.
that just being a domino. I wouldn't say a domino effect, but a cause of aggressively changing and moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I agree, bro. And starting with, what we're talking about the gospel, it starts with us as individuals, us as individuals that makes up the church, the
Mm,
universal church. Um, I was just thinking about this, bro. Like our gospel versus the gospel that Paul taught, or the gospel that the apostles taught. The gospel that they taught got them killed because it was so real.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
See, this is what I'm saying, man. Stacy, you always pressing my spiritual buttons. Bro, listen, me and my wife, bro, was just talking about this, man. Like this gospel, man, come on, man. People are preaching this richest and glamorous gospel, man, but like nothing in the scriptures imply that, like
because
we have
it
all of
doesn't
the
have power.
disciples. Yeah, we have all of the disciples and all of these apostles that didn't have money. Like even Peter, like Jesus told them specifically, when you go to these places, don't take with you no books, don't take with you no robes, don't take with you any of this. Wherever you go, he said, go there, stay there, and let the people provide for you. So it was not like what I'm saying is that like if our gospel, and if this gospel that they preach it has gotten to a place where it's all about money and it's all about riches, then we have lost sight of what Christ and why he came. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like like I was telling my wife, I said, babe, there's still a handful of pastors that are still committed to the cause of the cross. You know what I'm saying? Are still committed to it. But at the same time, we have more than we went into it on our last podcast, bro. Like we have all these pastors, man. And I hate to get a little bit deeper into it, but man, it's a shame to see that our gospel is turning into that. It's commercialized. It's now like with anything else. Like with you can run a Doritos ad, and then right behind that run a gospel ad. If you want to preach, sign up for this money, and you can have your preaching degree in 6 days. Like, come on, man. Like,
or they'll just
gospel.
There you go, man. Or they'll show, some a new school church with contemporary music with people throwing their hands up and the video panning around the room, and they just make it look like a real dope environment. And then they it's that is what they're using to draw people versus explaining what Christ did, explaining who Christ is, who the Father is. Having
a form of godliness, but denying the power. That form is there. You got all of these things in place, man, but the power is not there. You know what I'm saying?
Oof, that's it, man. That's it. Hey, if you've learned anything from this podcast, it's let's change our mindset on how we preach. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, bro, when you were talking about us looking at different people, looking at people differently, and looking at people as, as important as they really are, seeing them for their true importance, because I think that's one of the biggest things that I need. Me personally, I can say, and us as a church for sure, we need to be able to see people for who they are and see people as important as they really are, and take this gospel and start evangelizing the way that we really should.
Come on, bro.
Because if we really believed that people was that valuable, if we really loved people, we would give them the gospel. As scandalous as it may seem, as rude as they think it might be, or whatever the case may be, because you love them, you got to give it to them.
Come on, bro. That's good. I mean, I feel the same way. And what I think has really, really happened with this gospel, bro, and I'm going to be honest, not with the gospel that Paul preached, not with the gospel that Peter preached, not with the gospel according to Matthew, Luke, and John, talking about the gospel that deals with these prosperity messages that has literally choked the word from its substance. That's like, it literally, man, it's affecting so many people. The problem is that, like, man, if we think that we can get rich quick by accepting Jesus, planting into a church, sowing $1,000 into a church, and then you get what I'm saying, the Lord is going to return to us what we've sown. I mean, is this the gospel that Paul preached?
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't preach a gospel sowing into a church. Like, if you're going to sow into the church, sow into a good cause of it. If you see somebody out preaching the gospel that don't have shoes on their feet, supply shoes for their feet. You get what I'm saying? But if you got a preacher that's driving a Bentley and driving a truck, and you come on, man, like think about that, bro. Like, come on. If I understand if somebody's out preaching the gospel on their bare feet, you know what I'm saying? And if the Spirit don't move you to give some shoes to them, something is
that's a problem
in a way.
that's a problem.
Like
you need to readdress your priorities.
Come on, bro, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like, you know, man, this gospel, man, like this gospel we preach is so much more than money, man. I mean, matter of fact, it's not even that, man. Like I was talking to my wife the other day, and I maybe have to go back through and go do some more studies, but I have not read anything in the scripture where it talks about tithing money and getting money back double fold in return. I have not studied it.
Come on,
I mean, I get the concept of a person saying that you'll sow, whatever you sow, you'll reap. I get the concept. Of it, but that's not the truth of it.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? Our next podcast need to be about that, because you know what we should do?
What's that, bro?
Is we should do like a part 2 to the last podcast that we did.
Yeah.
And we should explain that verse, because if you read that verse in context, it's not talking about money at all.
Come on, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
So many people are deceived by that. You get what I'm saying? And I was one, you know, because if you feel like that by sowing, and this is the thing, you know, if you can sow money and reap money, then you get
everybody
what I'm saying?
Be rich.
Everybody will be rich. That's not what it is about, man. It is about supplying the need of the saints. I was just studying this the other day, supplying the need of the saints. You get what I'm saying? And whatever you sow to them, for example, you might sow to them $5,000, but in return, they might sow to you some bread in your time of need. So it's like it's not about reaping. It's not sowing 5,000 and then getting 10 back. You know, it's about, you know, and so I think that is what kind of like broke the gospel, not broke it in the fashion like Paul said it the best. The gospel is never chained. They can chain the person up, they can put him into prison, bound him up, but they can't bound the gospel. So the gospel is the gospel, but the problem is if the person that's preaching the gospel is looking into it with a mind that's saying like, hey, this is what Christ is talking about, money. Come on, man. Christ didn't preach money. Christ preached salvation. Christ preached compassion, loving each other, whether it's big or small, poor or rich, you know, big or small, no matter what it was, Christ preached love. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I think that, yeah, man, like this gospel, man, you know, and my I wouldn't say my feelings is hurt, but I think that people are hurting, you know what I'm saying? Because the truth is not out there, man. We got, man, come on, man. We got all these pastors already out there, man, preaching his word.
Yeah.
And millions of views over. I'm not even going to say the word, forgive me, Lord. Peter cussed, and I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to say over some scandalous stuff. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, I mean, man, like, yo, we got to get back to preaching the gospel. And this goes for every preacher out there that's preaching for money and gain, man. Come on, man. Like, people's souls are at stake, you know?
Yeah, but, hey, their God is their belly, bro.
Man.
Their God is their belly. So,
bro.
Hey, you see what I mean? So, in their mind, they just doing what they do, and they actually feel like they doing it the right way because it's getting them what they want. And that's their God, which is their belly, their appetite for whatever it is that they want. So, you know, they're going to continue, bro. And false prophets are going to continue.
It's sad. Like, and bro, we can write a book on false prophets, man, because of what we see in our world today, man. I mean, it's everywhere, man. Like, and to know that this has creeped into the church, you know, it's crazy, bro. I mean, but if you think about it, in that day, they wrestled really strong to present a true gospel, and it will be the same today.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they wrestled in Rome. They wrestled everywhere that they went. They wrestled. You know, I was studying the other day, Christ going to this place where this dude was bound in a tomb by like so many different demons. And after Christ cast the demons out of this dude, man, somebody found out that Christ cast these demons into these pigs. Pigs fell off the side of they committed suicide. This was basically their money, their livestock. So they was mad because these pigs had died. Bro, they told Christ to get out the city and don't come back.
Bro.
And then the dude that was healed, he went to Jesus. He said, like, Jesus, can I come with you, man? Like, Jesus was like, nah. He said, listen, I need you to go back to your house and tell the people about what I did, because Christ wanted that gospel in that city to be preached. But the problem is that people ran Jesus out because Jesus hurt their money. So their money was more important than the soul of a man than the soul of the city being saved. That's COVID-19, right?
Woo.
Come on, bro. If is the soul of is the money more important than the soul? That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. That to me is a great example of a person putting money before the gospel. Here it is. Jesus is healing this man that had legions of demons, and you mad because these pigs are dead, but this man is free, and you tell Jesus to leave because you afraid, bro.
Wow, bro. Hey, all about perspective. Man. All about perspective. This mindset, because their perspective is, my life is wrapped up in the wealth that's going to come from these pigs.
Man,
you just took all of my provision away. You see what I'm saying? I don't care about no soul, because my perspective has nothing to do with that. My vision ain't even on that. My vision is on these pigs,
bro.
These
man,
swine.
Ain't that crazy though, man? That they were willing to run Jesus out of this town, and the dude was so. And it was crazy. He was willing to leave his what was crazy was he was willing to leave his family because of what Jesus had done. But Jesus said, no, I need you to go back to your family and tell them. That was shocking to me too, because that shows you that this man was really transformed and really touched by what Jesus did. If he was willing to say like, hey, my family, but Jesus, man, you did this. You know what I'm saying? Something in that, bro, made him or pushed him to do that. And Jesus was like, listen, no, I need you to stay here. You know, they want me out of the town, but listen, I need you to go back and tell what I did for you, so people can know about. So that to me is a sign of COVID-19. You get what I'm saying? I think that we are a people that have, like you said, prioritized money more than people. And it just seems that way to me, bro. It really does. I mean, because, you know what I'm saying? Like, here it is, I don't know, man. But like I said, man, this gospel we preach, man, is with power. It's with truth, man. And it's all about saving souls. And what's crazy, bro, people didn't even want to walk by this tomb because this dude has so many demons. But then after he's cleaned and healed, y'all want to run Jesus out of the spot? Y'all can walk past the tomb now. Go to your pigs. Okay, your pigs is gone now. But I mean, I'm just thinking logically, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
come on, bro. Like, think about that.
He came and turned the whole town upside down.
Bro, they were willing to put up with fear in the city to have money rather than to live in freedom without fear and lose their money. They were willing to put up with fear. They walked past this tomb every day. The Bible says that no one went past this tomb because they was afraid. They knew this dude was vexed with demons. But they were willing to put up with fear to have money.
Yeah, because bro, we're creatures of habit, and we used to that already. We used to that. We used to the dude with all the demons. We just know to stay away from that. But you coming over here, hey, but this is the thing, bro. This is what it is. Christ doesn't just come with a gospel of, hey, do you want to be saved? Well, come with me. You can be saved. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's more to it, and they know that this is why people are atheists. This is why people, deny Christ, because they know what he demands on your life. If you agree that Christ is who he says he is, the only thing that you can do that's a right service to him, that's in right service to him, is to change your entire life and literally worship him for the rest of your life. Give everything to him. Yeah. So when that's the cost, or not necessarily the cost, because we know that, gospel, not gospel. Salvation is a gift. So we know that.
Yeah.
But what comes from that, when you know who God is, either you're gonna give him everything or you're gonna deny him.
Yeah, bro. And that's so true, man. Like, you know, like is what's more important? You get what I'm saying? And I think that is really the mindset to have. You know, Peter said it greater. He said, let this same mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
He said, like, he was willing to suffer and willing to die, willing to put up with, you get what I'm saying? You know, having to be in situations that were uncomfortable so that a person could receive true life, and so that a person could receive, like you was just discussing, salvation. So I believe that it's an important thing to have a new mind, but with this new mind, it does come with, you know, selflessness. You know what I'm saying? Denying yourself. And I'm not saying put yourself in a position where you completely, you know what I'm saying, just overlook yourself, but we have to get more involved with, you know what I'm saying, being more alert to others, you know, more so than just like how our society is beginning to grow into. It's all about self. Like our society is all about self. Like when we look at all of our social media platforms, we look at all of the ads that come on social media platforms, when we look at billboards, when we look at commercials, it's all about self. It's rarely, listen, I would be amazed to turn on the TV and see an ad about someone helping another person caught off guard. And you know what's so crazy too? People record themselves helping another person. Is that for fame, or is that just to seem tight? I don't know. What is that for, bro? Have you seen that?
hey, you know what that's called? That's called a false piety.
Come on,
false
man.
humbleness, bro.
Yo,
that's false humbleness.
Hey, I'm over here helping the homeless, man. So record this so we can put this and get some views. You know
I never understood it, bro.
Christ said it the best. Christ said they already have their reward. He said people that pray on street corners and stuff like that, he's like, man, they already got their reward. But when you pray, you do what you do in secret, and your heavenly Father sees you in secret. He will reward you openly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
Yo, that's
what do you think about that, though, man?
I mean, I think some people might actually have a good heart doing it because they want to show that, you know, this is what you should be doing, that whole type thing. And I get that. I'm not even against that, you know. But some people, the vast majority of people, do it because they want to be seen, and they want that pat on the back. Oh, you did that. That was cool. Oh, you did that. That was good. You're a good Samaritan, whatever. That ain't what it's about, you know. And if that's what you're doing it for, like you said, that is your reward. Whatever you got from it, that's your reward. But
that's so
the
true.
God that knows your heart, he knows exactly what's in your heart.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know what, bro? I struggle with that so much. So I was actually in this article, it was basically just talking about that very thing, like how it's so important to be humble. You know, Paul was talking about being humble, but at the same time, you can be so humble where you don't allow your gift to shine before men so they can glorify God. You get what I'm saying? You can be so humble where you don't do anything that's good out in public. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you get what I'm saying? So
true.
Yeah, you can be like, oh man, I'm not gonna do that because man, maybe people are going, you know what I'm saying? So you can.
Yeah, you overthinking everything. Yeah.
So you can be that way too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I feel you on that one.
It's having that balance though, you know what I'm saying? It's still like, you know, but I think like what we were just talking about, what this podcast is over, is the renewed mind. And that's what it's all about. And I was studying that today. Like it's so important to transform your mind by the renewing of the word. And what that does is it takes you out of yourself and it puts you in, you know, an open relationship with Jesus. And so now you're living your life, you know, so if a person did do that and they were being recorded, since they have transformed their mind, thinking differently about it, it's not about the cameras and being seen. It's more about the service and more so about this gospel being expanded in a way, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think it does deal with the fact of a person really it's all about our perspective and how we view it and how we see it.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. All things COVID.
Hey.
All things COVID. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, we just came up with the name of it.
All
there you go.
things
We
COVID.
remember
Whoa.
we was thinking about the name of the title of this mug.
Hey, that's what's up, bro. Hey, most definitely, man. Hey.
Oh, man.
You know what, though? I'm going to say this, though. I think that, like, man, this is so important, man, that we as a people most definitely just, you know, in this time, just get a chance to, you know, just, man, spend more time with family, more than anything. Love like never before, because love is something that is waxing cold every day.
Oof.
We're not seeing it like we used to see it in, you know, the 80s or in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you hear the music that we have, and not knocking the music we have, but more, I think that love is something that is experienced, it's demonstrated, you get what I'm saying, and it's also felt to the person that's receiving it. And so, you know what I'm saying, I think that that's what we have to get back to, you know what I'm saying, in these times. And so, you know, not allowing our love to get cold, so cold, and we have to be careful about who we follow.
Mm-hmm. And also I would say, you know, start reading the word a little more, you know, renewing your mind more and reading about the love of God for us. For Christians, that's probably the number one thing that we should be doing is figuring out how much God loves us. You know, if you're truly saved. If you're not truly saved, what it'll actually do is it'll do the opposite of effect of what it would do to a real Christian. A real Christian is going to take that, it's going to humble them, and it's going to make them serve Christ with more vigor and chase after him even more. With a false convert, if they just read up about how much God loves them, it'll water everything down even more. So I think that's really what's going on in today's time, is because we want to focus so much on God's love that we forget, like we've been talking about the last 2 or 3 podcasts, we forget that he's just, he's righteous, he has wrath, he's a judge. We forget all of that. But as a son of God, or children of God, adopted into the family of God, we can learn about how much our Father loves us.
Yeah,
but if somebody, you see what I'm saying? So it's a totally different dynamic. But I would say, you know, for the body of Christ, definitely, like you said, love one another and love God. Those are the 2 biggest commandments, too.
Yeah, bro. Like that's something we have to, you know, constantly keep before us. And I think that it's real good hearing it too, because, you know, bro, not a lot of people are talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's, you know, talking, man, it's this world is becoming just about self, man. This world is like fading, bro. Like it's fading daily, man. Like you can't go nowhere, man. Like without, you know what I'm saying, without this world, you know, you feeling the pressures of this world, you know what I'm saying, whether it's from temptation, whether it's from, you get what I'm saying, hatred, whether it's from, you know what I'm saying, just different types of darkness. You can't get away from it. But I think the most important thing is, as Christians, we got to continue to love and continue to share the gospel of Christ in truth, man, because there's so many souls depending on it. So, man, yeah, man, a renewed mind.
Facts. Yeah, 100%. Let's get the gospel on the streets.
Hey, man, let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's get that word on the streets.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. So, man, it's about that time, man. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. The word on the street. What's up, everybody? We back with the word on the street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll go ahead and start it off, man. So listen, it's the word on the street, episode 15.
Man.
Feeling good about this one, man. So listen, I'm coming out of Philippians 2:2. So it says, make my joy complete by being of the same mind. We're talking about mindset. by being of the same mind, maintaining the same love, united in spirit and intent on one purpose. I think that's an all-encompassing verse for what we were talking about, man. Just uniting as the body of Christ, on love, with love for one another, with love for the world, preaching the gospel, evangelizing, all of that, man. With that's the one intent. The one intent is to glorify God, and these are the means to glorify Him. He's most glorified when He's made famous. Man. When He's publicized, He's most glorified. That's the way that I think we should all look at it. So when we share the gospel, when we share our faith, when we make Him famous, and when we adore Him enough to bring Him to other people, He's most glorified in that. So, I would say, let's be of one mind. Let's renew our mind with the Word of God. Let's have that perspective, and let's come with the perspective of Christ. This is the perspective of God Himself. He's showing you, what glorifies Him, and that's in His command. So let's get it done, y'all.
Wow, man, that's good right there, brother State. Hey, that's dope right there, man. I got another one, bro, man. Coming out of Romans chapter 16, bro, and it says, it says, be of the same mind towards one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble, and do not be wise in your own opinion. I think this is incredible too, because this is showing us that, like even with, and I would say this would be just for all leaders in general, that we could sometimes be, so concerned with where we are and forget where we came from, and forget about, those that are looking to us as well. And I think that this is showing us that, Christ wants us to also still consider associating with the humble, still associating with those that might not, be where we are, and associate how we associate with the things that we, love and we adore, but also like just being connected with others and finding out things that they enjoy. And I think that in this time, this is a really, really important scripture to kind of like, just be hearing and listening to and meditating on in this COVID-19, deal that we have going on. And, it's saying, don't be wise in your own opinion. It's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to have, an ideal and roll with the ideal, but at the same time, don't put all of your confidences into your opinion, knowing that another person's opinion could, be even in greater opinion. But at the same time, we must all come back to what we were actually talking both with these scriptures, is being of the same mind and connecting with one another, and actually having that like mind to where we're just connecting and it's drawn all the way back to the Word of God and drawn back to Christ, I would say, so that we can stay connected. So that's what I believe, man, is necessary in this time. So yeah, man, most definitely, man, that's the word on the street. And
yes, sir, that's the word on the street.
Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the word on the every street. And we'll be back never next week. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Hey,
oh man. Hey, listen, bro, this is dope, man. I'm loving the background. I'm loving, everything that we doing with the Kingdom Talks set up here, man, is getting live. Episode 15, we just knocked it out, man. I'm excited, 100%.
Yeah, I am too.
Even though I'm not there, bro, it's all bad.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's lonely over here, man. I'm like, man, I can't look and see my homie right here, so it's kind of difficult right now looking at this computer screen.
Yeah, I know it's lonely at the top. I'm lonely,
bro.
Yeah, hey, it's lonely at the top. You enjoying all the spoils.
Man, I know, man. It's crazy, man. It's difficult, man, to even enjoy it, man. Because you know how when we get into our conversations, man, it's like, man, man, we done saturated this atmosphere. So every time we step in it, man, it's like, damn.
Facts. Yeah, man. It's definitely different, man. I'm out here in the freezing cold, trying to just deal.
Hey, I know what it's like, bro, man. I'm telling you, boy, like when you just want to get it in for the Lord, you like, man, let me go ahead and get this in for the King, man.
100%, man. Hey, that's what's up. So another success, man. Listen, we love y'all 100%. I say that all the time because I mean it, and I know Brody mean the same thing. So, hey, man, listen, another doozy.
Yeah, man, another doozy, man. We are complete, man. Episode 15. Listen, don't thank you for
Yes,
everybody
sir.
that's checking us out. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for being committed and faithful. Everybody that has subscribed, thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? God is most definitely glorified in it. And
yeah.
don't forget to check us out next week. We'll be here.
Yes, sir. Back with another word on the street. Let's get it. Let's get it. Love y'all, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, there it is, bro, man.
There we go. Made it happen, man. God,
we made it through, man. I'm not feeling this virtual, bro. Listen.
Hey, yeah, we got to get back in the.
I said I thought I was liking it, bro, but man, I ain't feeling it, man. This ain't cool.
Yeah. It don't give you that same vibe, but it's all good, man. We're gonna get back to it. You know, maybe if they open everything up and everything is copacetic, then maybe we can get back to it next week.
Yeah, bro. I would say so, man. If we open it up on the 15th, I'm good with it, man. We just rock it like that, man, and let's make this happen, bro. Cause man, this ain't cool. This ain't cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's lonely over here, man. It's lonely, man.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. That's all bad. It's just calling my name, man.
I know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, man.
Oh, man.
On the week,
we're going to make
it
happen. Yeah. It was all bad, man. That was perfect timing.
Man, boy. What's up, bro?
All right, man. I'm about to run up in this dang on house, bro, because I am freezing.
Okay, bro, man. What's up, man? I'll holler at you, man. I'll let you know how it turned out, man, when I get it put on the big boy over there.
Oh, yeah. Right on. Okay. That'll work, man.
All right, bro. All right, man. Well, I'll holler at you, man. I'm about to go ahead and get up off, man, and go ahead and get on this one, bro.
No. Let me know how that mug's looking, man.
All right, bro. We'll do, man. We'll holler at you soon.
Right on. All right, Brody.
All right, bro.